Hey, what's going on out there? It's your boy, Chef Disaster Plate Prevention, back on the scene, still digging, still looking for information, still doing my thing. Um, right here is Afeni Shakur, Tupac's mom, um, being locked up in that 21 case back in the day with the feds, the CIA, and all that. She beat pretty much all the cases. She did a little stint in jail. I mean, this was some really serious stuff back in the day. And I just want you people to take a look at Afeni here. She's really arrested. You see that guy in the back? He has a badge on. I mean, this is not Hollywood stuff. This is real stuff. I mean, at this time, for the government to exhaust their energy on these people, the Black Panthers, that means they were really targets. Like, everything they did was under the... And I say that to say, when people attack other people's character and say that they wasn't about this and they wasn't about that, I mean, that's just wrong. It's just morally wrong, regardless if they're right or not. If the person is gone and he can't defend himself, I mean, you really shouldn't attack his character because he's not allowed to defend himself. I mean, that's just the way it should be. And that's a big part of the discussion tonight is character witnesses. Things that happen around and after Tupac died. People's initial responses and the way they acted and the things they did right after they found out Tupac was dead and leading up to the murder of Biggie Smalls. You just gotta watch people to figure out what's really going on. And sometimes you might not see it at the first go around, but if you keep looking at it, you'll see sometimes what you've been missing because you're so familiar with what's out there for you to see. You overlook the important stuff, and that's what's going on here with this case, Tupac case, with Tupac being alive or dead, set up or faked his death. Regardless of what, we still have to look at the clues that's there. So, starting with this photograph right here, and this is a very important photograph because it says to me that his family was targets of the government. I mean, there's documents on this stuff, whether you believe it or not, that they were under attack. So with this photo, it says anything that came from her, being Tupac, her son, and her daughter and stuff like that, they received the same kind of treatment that their mother did. And you can believe that. They had no privacy and stuff like that. And they just wanted these people gone, done away with, as quietly as possible. But they wouldn't go away. They made noise. They fought. I mean, they literally had to bomb these people, kill these people. They had to use force because the people stood up for themselves and they stood up for what they believed and they stood up for what was right. Even though there was no big reward other than making sure their people and their communities and their children eat. I mean, these were community people. These weren't outlaws and terrorists and stuff like that. These were families, young black families. And they were just, victimized by the government. So, I say the LAPD did was fishy. Things that Suge did was fishy. I mean, just a lot of things. But this woman right here, she gave the best character reactions of all, and it was genuine because she was like mad, and you can tell that she wasn't involved with Tupac's life, but that was her son. And I know they had a falling out, but she still, being not on his hip every time, knew something was fishy about her son. And she never really came out right and said what she really thought, but she just knew something wasn't wrong, something wasn't right, whether it be he was set up, murdered, whatever the case may be, she still stuck to her wits with it. Now, for people who believe that Tupac is alive, I'm one of those people. You know, I wish he was alive. I want him to be alive. I want him to be the one that comes back and takes on this government and get it right for a chance. You know, not destroy it, but get it to where we work in unison. You know what I'm saying? I think he could have did that because he came from them. He always said, "America, I'm your son." I mean, he said that himself. Like he said, he claimed America as well as struggling peoples. He claimed that. So, with that being said, I think it's very important that we focus on what's going on, what's wrong, what's fishy. Get to the bottom of it. Look at the people that Pac was helping be successful, and now that he's not around anymore, are they still successful? And look at their attitudes. I mean, I was in an interview one time, listening in to an interview with Idi Amin from the Outlaws, and he just seemed pretty upset. And I'm not saying he didn't love Pac or nothing like that. I just feel like he probably thought he never got the opportunity he deserved while Pac was alive, because it's kind of hard to follow that guy. He was such a big celebrity, so they didn't really get no shine. And he probably thought that with Pac being gone, he could get shine, but I think it had the opposite effect, and he just had enough of it. I mean, his career is not taking off like that. I think I heard him saying he's not really have too many music projects going and stuff like that. But that's just one of the people. I'm not saying that he had anything to do with anything. I'm just saying you can just see the reaction from people that were in Pac's life. Tretch still seems confused. Humpty Hump, the guy from Humpty Hump, still seemed confused because none of these people seen a body. They just do a little ceremony where they supposedly poured ashes on the beach and stuff like that. You know, had a little small ceremony for him. That's not closure, if you ask me. Somebody as big as like that, I think this should have been more of a closure. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but I just seemed like it wasn't closure, and that's fishy to me. Whether it be because money or he escaped, he didn't want nobody to know, it just seems fishy. That's what I had said in my first video. That's what I meant by fishy. Now, we can point the finger in every direction, but I believe that Pac was shot and he was in that hospital and he left the hospital. I think when he first got shot, he wanted to leave the hospital, and he did, and he went into hiding. I think this second time around, he did the same thing, but he went into a different kind of hiding. And that all came by chance because God works in mysterious ways. It wasn't orchestrated or he faked his death like he planned it. It's just that's the cards he was dealt that night in Vegas. And he had to do what he had to do to stay alive because he knew there was a bigger picture. He knew he had a bigger enemy than he expected. See, he thought it was just Biggie, Jimmy Henchman, Haitian Jack, Puffy, the East Coast Crips. Nah. Pac had bigger demons. Pac had the United States government, and he had to go. He made a decision. He made a rational decision in a time of crisis. Even though everything was hard to let go, I think he had to do what he had to do. He was hurt. He was confused. And at the time, he didn't know what happened to him. But this woman, this is why I say, watch people react. She never turned her back on. She had his back. She got redemption for not being the best mom that she could have been for Pac. That she helped him out, and he repaid her for that. And that's why I say there's something fishy. Please subscribe to my videos.